Late today, the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence announced that they have issued a subpoena for former National Security Advisor General Michael Flynn. It requests documents related to Russian interference with the 2016 election. The Senate is just one of many sprawling investigations into Russia's meddling, and William Brangham is back with that.
As Judy said, it's not just the FBI that's looking into Russia's role in the election. As we heard, there are investigations underway in the intelligence committees in both the House and the Senate. So where do these various investigations stand? And what will James Comey's firing mean going forward? To explore these questions, I'm joined now by Washington Post national security reporter Adam Entous. Adam, welcome to the NewsHour.
Great.
I really want to talk to you about what this means from this point into the future. And as we mentioned, there's House and Senate committees looking into this same Russia investigation. Where do those stand in light of Comey's firing?
Right. Well, I think at this point, we don't really know. I mean, those investigations have been sort of mixed in the sense of, it's unclear how far they've gotten. They've received some cooperation from the intelligence agencies in terms of providing them with documents, but they have been waiting for other documents, very sensitive documents, which they were negotiating to get access to with Comey at the time that he was fired. So the question is, depending on the, is the acting FBI director, is the future FBI director, are they going to be as cooperative as apparently Comey had been with these committees in terms of sharing documents that they would need in order to try to reach a judgment as to what occurred?
I mean, broadly speaking, what are these two different committees trying to uncover?
Well, I mean, they basically, the top line is that they're looking at what did Russia do in 2016 in terms of interfering in the election. They're also looking into whether or not, much like the FBI, there was any associates of Donald Trump during the campaign who were in contact with and maybe potentially collaborating or cooperating, working together with the Russians. That's something that they're also going to be looking into, particularly on the House side, but also on the Senate side. On the Republican side of the aisle, the focus is on exploring the leaks. They really want to get to the bottom of, where is this information that's come out in the press that led to the firing of Flynn, that led to, different things happening to, different people have come out, and that's something that the Republican seems to be most focused on.
Let's say we do get a new FBI director sometime soon. How much does that person's role and their actions dictate how these House and Senate committees do their work?
Well, certainly if the new director is somebody who wants to help the senators and the congressmen pursue their investigations, they can lean forward in terms of cooperating with them, in terms of sharing some of the intelligence that they've collected. That would obviously be a huge benefit to these investigations. On the other hand, if this next FBI director is somebody that is maybe under pressure for the White House not to be as cooperative, then you might have a situation where they're withholding these documents. And then the question is, how hard are these Republican-controlled committees going to push to get the documents? Are they going to threaten to hold up, support for things that the intelligence agencies want to do until they get the documents? That's something that I don't know what the answers are at this point, and I don't think anybody does, and it depends largely on who's chosen to take over this role at the FBI.
I mean, obviously, that person, on day one that they're in the new job, day one means now we start investigating the boss. I mean, how on earth does an FBI director insulate themselves from that kind of obvious conflict?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't have an answer to it. It's obviously a very difficult position that person will be in. What kind of pressure will be on that person from day one to try to downplay this investigation. And, I do want to say, the person in charge of the FBI is going to have a tremendous amount of say over how aggressively this case is pursued, even though we are dealing here with career professionals in terms of resource allocation, personnel devoted to the investigation. These are the kinds of things where the FBI director would have tremendous power. And so this really is a critical moment, I think, where, contrary to, I think, some of the earlier guests on the show, I do think the investigation is potentially in jeopardy, depending on how the new FBI director decides to pursue this investigation.
All right, Adam Entous of the Washington Post, thank you so much.
Thank you.